Hey, what's going on, everybody? It has been a very long time since I have uploaded a video, and I'm just going to start from the beginning. I'm going to tell you guys my story from the very beginning, or what I consider the beginning. The footage in the background is a compilation of some Puzzle and Dragons footage, a lot of Ultimate Evolutions, some Awakenings, and all that stuff. But this video is more about just telling everybody where I've been and what I'm doing now, rather than the footage itself. But it's there to give you guys something to look at. So, I used to work at this nursing home, right? I worked there for 5 years, and it was the worst job I've ever had. But, at the time, it was like, hey, this job is pretty much all right. It's 2 blocks from my house. It pays decent. It's, I had a steady income, but one day I just had enough. I knew I was graduating college the next month in December. So, one day I just packed up my stuff and I left. I shook everybody's hand. I'm like, hey, it was awesome working with all of you. Hope to see you guys again. So I walked out of that job, and then I graduated college the month after in December. And I thought that I could get any job I wanted with a degree. And of course, that's not the case anymore in this world. So I don't want to say that college was a waste. Parents all over will probably hear that and flip out, but it didn't work for me. Let's just leave it at that. So I was unemployed for like 5 months or something, and I ended up getting addicted to Puzzle and Dragons on my phone. I spent so much money on Puzzle and Dragons, and it was like, it was pretty fun, of course. I mean, I played it for so long, and I was really into it. I started making videos of it, and I was just really into this Puzzle and Dragons game. But in reality, I didn't have anything going for me. I didn't have any direction whatsoever. My bank account was slowly draining away, and I just didn't, I was unhappy. I couldn't really bring myself to do anything but just stay glued to my phone. So I ended up applying to a bunch of places just because I got tired of sitting around. I wanted to do something with my life. So I applied at a bunch of places. Many of you will probably remember a video I uploaded about how I applied at a railroad company. It was like 60 grand a year. And that was a sort of a weird time for me because I was probably the most qualified for that position, but I didn't get the position. And I was wondering for a very long time why I wasn't hired for that position. And later on it hit me that if I would have got the job there, making 60 grand a year, then I would have only been in it for the money. And I have never been in it for the money. Like on the YouTube channel, right? I've never asked anybody to like my videos. I've never asked anybody to subscribe to my channel. I never ask for anything. I mean, the only thing I ask for is to comment if you wish, because I like interacting. So that's the only thing I asked for. But, if I was in it for the money, I'd be uploading videos every week and stuff like that. But it's just, I've always treated YouTube as a hobby of mine. So, I've gotten some questions before. This one guy asked me, like, hey Shane, why don't you upload videos every day? Most of my favorite YouTubers upload every day. And on the one side, it was awesome because, he was saying that I'm one of his favorite YouTubers. But on the other side, it's like, well, those people who upload every day, they have big channels and that's their job. They have to upload every day to make money. And, that's not the case for me. I just, like I said, I treat it as a hobby. So, backtracking to the story. So I wasn't hired at this railroad place. So I just kind of stopped looking for a job, continued to play Puzzle and Dragons. And then sooner or later, I was at an all-time low. Like, I was so depressed with myself. Like, what am I doing with my life, Like, I was unemployed. I was still living in my parents' house. I just had no direction. So one day I just, I made a little concoction and I smoked it. And then I was laying in my bed with headphones on, and I just thought about my life. Like, my eyes were closed. I was thinking about my life. Like, I was born in Michigan, then we moved to Maryland, then we moved to Pennsylvania, and like I just started to think about my entire life. I thought about high school, and then I thought about everything was dark because when your eyes are closed, of course, the backs of your eyelids, everything's dark. And then I started to think about UFS, the Universal Fighting System. It's the card game that I play. I started to think about that. And then I started to think about all of the tournaments I went to and all of the people I met and just how much fun that game was to me. And the moment I thought about UFS, the backs of my eyelids became filled with color. Like, I was beginning to see blue and green meshed with red and yellow. Like, I can't, no other feeling. I've never felt that before in my life. I started crying. That's how crazy the feeling was. And I can't really describe it. But that moment was when I realized that UFS was the only endeavor of mine that brought color to my life. So that was like enlightenment to me. And after I was done crying, I was so energized. Like, I ordered a bunch of cards and I started building decks, and I was like really into this game. But I still needed a job, right? So I ended up applying to this cell phone refurbishing warehouse place. It was 45 minutes from my house, but they were doing online applications, so I sent in 8 applications, one for every shift that they had because they were expanding and they wanted to hire more people on. So I ended up sending in 8 applications, and a week later, I got 8 rejection emails back. Like, sorry, we're looking for somebody more qualified. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But like the next week in the newspaper, there was a job fair for that same cell phone warehouse. So I actually got in my car and I drove down to the job fair, and they were like, okay, we can hire you. This is what we're going to pay you. You can start on this day. And I was like, well, I live 45 minutes away. There's no way I'm going to work here for that much money, or for that little money, I should say. And the one lady was like, okay, hold on one second. She went in the human resources office and she comes back later and she's like, all right, we can offer you this position and it pays this much, but you have to take a test to prove that you can do this. I'm like, all right, sure, I'll do it, of course. So I ended up taking the test. You had to take apart a cell phone, put it back together, make sure it worked. You had to answer a bunch of questions, all that stuff. And I ended up scoring 100 out of 100 on the test. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, maybe we should hire this guy. So that kind of taught me that you have to, like, you really have to put yourself out there. You can't sit behind a screen all day. Like, no one is going to know your true value unless you show it to them, you know? So that was a huge life lesson for me. So I ended up getting hired at this job, and I worked second shift. I worked 4:30 to 3 o'clock in the morning. It was a 10-hour shift. And the cool thing was I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but I had every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. So I could do whatever I want on the weekend. And it just so happens that all of the UFS tournaments are on the weekends. So I would basically leave on Friday and I would travel to wherever I'm going, and I would stay at a friend's house on Friday night. Then we would play the tournament on Saturday and Sunday. And then I would leave on Sunday, and I didn't have to be back at work until Monday at 4:30 in the afternoon. So I could just drive home Sunday and just sleep and then wake up and go to work. It was perfect. Like, just thinking about it, things could not have gone any better. Like, that was the perfect job for somebody who plays UFS. And I was just so blessed to have that job because, not only did that job allow me to chase my dreams, but I learned so much in that job. Like, one of the most crazy things about that job was that you couldn't take your cell phone in with you. You had to pass through a guard station that had a metal detector and everything. So because you're working with cell phones, they don't want you bringing your cell phone in and exchanging parts, spiffing up your cell phone, stuff like that. So we had to leave our cell phones in our lockers. And that kind of solved my addiction to Puzzle and Dragons. Like, because I was torn away from my phone, it's like I didn't really play a lot. Like I couldn't play, of course. And the department I was working in had like 50 people in it. So I began to slowly make friends with everybody. And it was like at that time, because I learned so much in the past year, I was just like the most positive person and everyone wanted to be around me. Like I was actually a popular person. Like it was insane because in high school I was never a popular guy. I just kind of stayed to myself. I didn't bother anybody. No one bothered me. But at this job, it's like everyone wanted to be around me. Like it was really cool, and I never felt like that before. And that's when I realized that positivity is one of the best things in the world. Like there's no room in my heart for negativity anymore. And that's one of the best things that has ever happened to me. So I attribute a lot of my success now with that job, but a lot of it has to do with UFS. And I'll tell you everything about what happened in UFS. So I drove to New Jersey for my first event, and that was in April. And the guy who I beat first round, we ended up playing in the finals. And I ended up giving him the win for the circuit points because I entered in the circuit so late that the points I gained wouldn't have mattered. So I gave him the win for the points, and he gave me all of his booster packs. So we got a lot of cards just by going to that event. And then I drove to Rochester, New York for a tournament, and I made top 8 there. I got 5th place there. And then I drove so many places for UFS. Like I drove to New Jersey, I drove to New York about 4 or 5 different times. I drove to Connecticut once. I drove to Atlanta. That's where I won that PTC. I played the K-Dash deck and I got first place there. I drove 12 hours to Atlanta, won their PTC, and drove 12 hours back. Oh, that was so awesome. Like everyone in Atlanta. So everyone in the UFS community is awesome. Like I made friends with everybody in the community. It was just like, it's one of the best things I've ever done in my life. I uploaded the video about, the Atlanta PTC. I got first place there. And then in the video, I said that if you won a championship, you got your own card that's playable in the game. But that was a pro tour. That wasn't like a world championship or whatever. So I didn't get a card, but I got a plane ticket instead. I got a $300 plane voucher. So about 2 months after I won the Atlanta Pro Tour, the World Championships came by. And I went into the team event with 2 of my best friends, and we got first place in teams. So we're all going to be on a card in the game now. It's the coolest feeling in the world. Like, I'm going to be on a card that's playable in the game, and 2 of my best friends are also going to be on that card as well. It's so amazing. Like, winning the World Championships was awesome. But something even more amazing happened. So about 2 weeks before the World Championships, I heard from a really good friend of mine that the president of Jasco Games, the people who make UFS, is looking for a new warehouse manager for the Las Vegas warehouse. And I was like, wow, this sounds like a really good opportunity because I currently work in a warehouse. So things will be pretty good if I can get a job with the company that makes the game that I'm in love with. So I ended up sending the president an email like, hey, I hear you're looking for a new warehouse manager. I currently work in a warehouse and I'm willing to transfer. And he sends me an email back. He's like, hey, I'm really interested, but right now we're super busy. So I'm going to ask you to resend me this email after the World Championships. So then everything just worked out so amazing because I went to the World Championships and then I won teams and I went undefeated in singles. And since the president was a former player and still does play, but he's just doing like, president stuff, he knows that UFS is so complex and so skill-based that if you're a champion, then you're really smart. So me winning the World Championships, I guess, kind of opened up his eyes like, wow, we really need to get this guy on our team. And that by far is the coolest thing that ever happened to me. because it gave me a new life. Like, I didn't have anything for me in Pennsylvania, like on the East Coast. Like, yeah, I had UFS there, but I was still living with my parents, and I just was kind of sick of the life there, you know. And being granted the opportunity to move the whole way across the country from East Coast to West Coast and start a new life, that was the best thing that's ever happened to me so far. And just thinking about how everything came to be, like, I'm really proud of myself, because it wasn't all luck. You know, there was a lot of skill involved there, because I I hate saying this, but I'm really good at UFS, Universal Fighting System. I've been playing this game since I was what, 14 when it came out, 15 maybe. I mean, when I was 16, I got third place at the World Championships, and that was like a huge eye opener to me. Like, wow, like, I'm 16 and I'm standing on this stage with 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds. Like, wow, like, I must be something special. So, currently right now I'm living in Las Vegas, and I'm living in a house with the president, the art director, and the art director's assistant. And every day here has been awesome. Like, this is one of the best places on the earth. I'm having a really good time here. I know I haven't been uploading videos, but it's just because I don't play Puzzle and Dragons anymore, because I've kicked the habit of being addicted to a phone game. So the struggle with YouTube now is, like, I still want to upload videos, but I can't upload videos on mobile tap games because I don't play those games anymore, and I don't want to feed back into that addiction. So I really want to do videos on UFS, like all the different decks that are available and how incredible the game is. But the problem is that most of the people on the channel, pretty much everybody, I have to assume, is coming from a mobile phone game background, because that's what my channel was built on. And it kind of sucks to say this, but I guess it's no secret. But I don't think I'll be doing any more videos on phone games. You know, if you were just here for phone games, if you were just here for Puzzle and Dragons, if you were just here for Pocket Summoner, then you know, you don't have to stay, and I understand that. It's you know, everybody's time is valuable. Everyone is into their own thing, and you know, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to waste your time. If that's the case, then it's okay. You know, I'll still be here. If you're here for me, then that means the world to me. You know, the past year has just been a wild ride. You know, I went from being at the very bottom of life to now feeling like I'm at the very top of life. And life is just so incredible. I'm very happy that I've been blessed with the gift of life, and I'm able to live. And like right now, I'm living a dream right now. Previously in the video, I said that UFS was the only endeavor of mine that brought color to my life, and I'm gonna stand by that until forever, really. And it's so awesome that I'm now working for something that has taught me life. Like, I'm really weird when I play this game, because I think one of the reasons why I'm so good at this game is because whenever I take an analysis of the game state, I can always relate it to a life situation, like a situation in life. Like, you have to make a very important decision, and that decision is going to affect the outcome of the game. And that's just like in life. You have to make important decisions, and whichever path you take, like, that's like, you're going to have to suffer the consequences of that path, and you're also going to get the rewards of that path as well. So I think of UFS in a very life-like way, if that makes sense. So UFS is the game that has taught me life. It's taught me how to live. And that's very weird to hear someone say that, I guess, because it's a game, of course, but to me, I see so much more than just a game. So now, regarding YouTube, I'm not really sure what to do right now. It's kind of strange that I now have this channel that was built on phone games, but now I do not play any phone games, and I play a completely different genre. I play a collectible card game, and that's definitely a different dynamic than the channel was built on. So I guess what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna read some comments. I'm definitely gonna reply to comments, so please feel free to leave a comment if you wish, and I'll definitely read them for sure. Then, I don't really know where we're going to go from there. I guess I'll just read everybody's comments, see which direction everyone wants to go. Like I said, if you're just here for phone games, then maybe this isn't the channel for you anymore, And I completely understand that, and I would not want to take up any of your time. I would want you to chase what you're after, because I chased what I was after, and that led me to a really good position in life, and everybody's capable of that. So follow your interests, and most importantly, follow your dreams. I guess that is a closing remark. So yeah, leave a comment if you wish. I read all of them, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye. Also, if you have made it this far into the video, please type in the comments, Snuggle Penguin. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see ya.